Well, welcome back to SAFC Live. We're delighted to say that Sunderland have come away from Swansea with all 3 points, Danny, and that second half was pretty impressive.
It was, yeah. It didn't look like that was going to be the case at half-time. Yes, Dan Ballard got us back into it, but levels weren't quite there in the first half. You know, give Swansea some credit, and it was a great free kick. But come out second half, and it felt, said there on comms, 15 minutes onwards, controlled the game, energy, picking up all the loose balls, pressing them, taking it off them, time and time again. They couldn't get going, couldn't get out their half, really. And the lads kept on, dug in, and Job's popped up with the winner.
Let's look back through the action then here on SAFC Live's post-game programme. It's always free on YouTube following the game.
Here's the goal now, isn't it? The first one, yeah. Free kicks come in, then they've stayed up there. Second phase, ball swung back in from Grimes. Ballard goes up with Harry Darling, drops down, and listen, we've said it, haven't we? You know, I think Anthony Patterson, once he sees back, he'll have known straight away, really, I've got to come and claim it. You know, look there, once it goes up in the air, and look where he heads it now. It's up in the air for 10 feet. Look, he goes to go, and then he goes back for some reason. And you could say, yes, why aren't we still picking up? Second phase, somebody should be picking up. The man who scores the goal, obviously. But yeah, he does well there, actually, doesn't he? Good save there, tips that one round his post. And then we had a little bit of a spell here, it felt, up until, obviously, we got the goal, and then Grimes went down injured with his groin. We had probably 10 minutes or so, didn't we? But here's the second goal now. Yeah, we give the free kick away. And Cullen, lovely strikers, in it up and over the wall. You know, perhaps 1 in 10 going in training on the training ground with a bag of balls from these situations, but credit to him. No chance for Anthony Patterson.
Sunderland 2-0 down, 16 minutes gone. Yeah. We didn't look like we were going to get back into it at that point.
No, I say that the pluses from that are, it's only 16 minutes on the clock, so you've got 74 minutes plus, haven't you, to get back into it. And we do here now. Lovely ball in from Trey Hume. Decent delivery, and he just wants it more, doesn't he, than Key. Too strong for him, too big, and then committed. Good header, no chance for the keeper. And we're thinking, lifeline, boys, as you say, when you're not at it, you've got to stick in there sometimes. You know, if we're going 2-0 down, heads are probably down a little bit more, and you're thinking, it's an uphill task, this, but you're only a goal behind, aren't you? And Swansea have another one here, and I think, yeah, Dan Ballard, I think Mepham had just got a good block in prior to that one, and then Dan Ballard there. It's a decent strike, this, you know, it's probably, well, certainly on target. I think Trey Hume's trying to get back there as well, inside that near post. But yeah, that's what Dan Ballard's back there for, to get blocked in those situations. And there's another one, and just these little bits which weren't going for us in the first half. You see there, it's bouncing round, it comes off Meander's knee. I think Chris Rigg gets a little touch on it here with his right boot there. Look, pokes it into his path. Fortunately, Cabango fires it past that right-hand side post. And then here we go now. I think we're up into the second half now, are we? Yeah, it's comfortable. He's got to cut it back, hasn't he? I think that one there, someone edge of the box waiting for it. So yeah, you can see in the first half, especially, we weren't quite at it. And when you're not at it, sometimes you can't let the game get away from you. You've got to dig in and then regroup at half-time. And there we are, come out second half, and it just felt like we were having the little moments in the second half which weren't going for us there. Isidore brings that one down, gets between the two centre-halves, and then Darling just does enough, doesn't he? Just leans into him, and it never really settles for him to strike. You see there, he's got to get a couple of touches, try and get it out of his feet, but it's bouncing about for him, and then he just puts him off, and the angle's against him as well. That one's offside, isn't it? Yeah, tight one, but very little for Anthony Patterson to do in the second half, and that's credit to the boys in front of him who took the game by the scruff of the neck and controlled it generally.
Yeah, big win for Sunderland on the road this afternoon. Who would you pull out as a man of the match as we watch back through these moments? Dan Neil involved heavily in the second half.
Neil, actually, yeah, I thought he'd done well this afternoon. Dan, yeah, his goal aside, really, especially in the second half, trying to regain possession and get us Chris Rigg as well. Let's get on to the second one here now. Let's have a look at Swansea trying to play. I think Grimes gets caught on it here. Look, ball under his feet. See what I mean? Flipper situations from the first half. It was Job, wasn't it? Edge of the box. That times it's Grimes, and it's Job actually who now pops up. Oh no, sorry, it's Dan Neil, this one, isn't it? Yes, Job in a minute for the winner. But yeah, Dan Neil stepping forward, generally obviously playing in front of the back four. Opportunity for him to step in. You see Job's now sitting for him. There's Chris Rigg. Strike going away from the goalkeeper, Darling in front of him as well. And yeah, what is he? Yeah, borderline 25 yards out in it, top corner. Sunderland fans behind the goal, delighted for them. Long journey down. And some view for them to see that one flying into the top corner.
And we felt we had the momentum at that point when Dan scores, but then it kind of snowballed into the next few minutes, and then 3 minutes later
Joe pops up.
We'll go in
but
front,
yeah, sometimes now we've got ourselves in front, and how many times do you see a team sort of go back into their shell and think, we're in front now, we'll step off, but they didn't. Again, we've got control of the half there, the ball in that half. Dan Ballard switch out to Trey Hume, plays it out wide now. Patrick Roberts, Trey carries his run on there, and just keep your eye on Job there, bottom there, and Ronald switches up. Look, it's hard because he's not had a lot of the ball. Naturally, he's a forward-thinking player from their point of view, but there you've got to sense the danger, and he doesn't, does he? And it's cut back, and Job just wanders in ahead of him, and it's a lovely finish. And within the space of 3 minutes, we've turned the game round.
Unbelievable
Scenes
in
the edge of the box. Look there, switches off. The two of them really, two Swansea players. Job says, "Go on then, thanks very much." Just wanders into that little pocket of space. Firm side foot finish. No chance again for the goalkeeper. And then look at that reaction there. Gives it the old boot of the board, I think, doesn't he? There he goes. And some feeling that in front of the away following. And then Meander had a couple late on as well. That one is actually not a bad strike. He had the other one, which we're not going to see, where he drilled it across the keeper, didn't he, past the far post. And but yeah, he had moments. Meander, sometimes he's a bit raw at this moment in time. Here it is now, is it? Yeah, this is the one. And he's looking for that far corner. But listen, great result for the boys. As we said, 7 points out of a possible 9 in the week. Gets us back on track. Yeah,
you would have took those points at the start of the week. You wouldn't necessarily have said they would have fell in that order, though, would you?
No, possibly not, no. You probably would have went 2 at home and a draw away at Swansea. But games aren't played on paper, are they? And Rob will be delighted now because he's actually come away and got off the fence and predicted we'd have a win this afternoon.
He did, in the end. Let's have a look at what that does. Well, actually, first of all, we'll look at the other scores from around the doors this afternoon, if we can. And then we'll have a look at that all-important league table, which I'm sure you're looking forward to looking at this afternoon, Sunderland supporters. Last night, Derby won 4-0 against Portsmouth. In the early kickoffs, it was Bristol City 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1, Coventry City 2, Hull City 1, Preston North End 1, Leeds United 1, Blackburn Rovers 2, Luton Town 0, Middlesbrough 1, Millwall 0, Oxford United 1, Sheffield Wednesday 3, Sheffield United 2-0 in the end against Plymouth Argyle. Stoke 2, Cardiff City 2, Swansea City 2, Sunderland 3. You know all about that. And tomorrow those games, Watford versus West Brom, Norwich versus Burnley. And those are the fixtures tomorrow. Let's see what that does to the league table as it stands before those games are played tomorrow, of course. Sunderland, having played 21, they move on to 40 points, which is a pretty good return for this point in the season, Danny. I'm sure you'll agree, and move up to 3rd.
Yeah, they are. And Burnley, I think, what was it? If they nick a point tomorrow, they go back above us, don't they? But yeah, you've got to just keep winning your games, and it's good to see us getting back in the right direction, isn't it? Leeds have obviously slipped up today, so we've gained a couple of points on them. Blackburn are obviously the ones to keep an eye on as well. They've got the game in hand on us. Goal difference, we've got a few on them, but they're coming through, aren't they? Strong, and obviously Middlesbrough as well, with a win again this afternoon. But all you can do is short your games off, take care of your results. It's
always good to look down at the 7th place position as well. West Brom occupying that at the moment, so they're 8 points clear of that.
Yeah, again, they've got a game in hand on us as well, haven't they? But doesn't guarantee your points, does it? And they found it difficult, West Brom. I think they had a good result, didn't they? 2-2 with Sheffield United last week. But they've chalked up too many draws from their point of view. But they're still right amongst it. And we're not even halfway stage yet, are we? So a lot of games to go.
Shall we have a quick look at the bottom? Why not? There we go. Hull City struggling. Plymouth, we know all about their struggles. Portsmouth on the end of a big beating last night despite their recent form. Cardiff down there as well. Luton really struggling this season, Danny. Surprised at that?
Yeah, they can't get going, Luton. Sometimes it happens when you come down. We've seen it with ourselves coming out the Premier League, didn't we, a few years back? And they've not got going again. Kenilworth Road, everyone said difficult place to go. Yes, we beat them there. Fortunate that evening, but yeah, they just can't seem to get going at all this season so far.
Let's have a quick look to see if you've been seeing anything around the world using the hashtag. Got time for one from Bradders, who's been in touch. What a performance by Dan Neal. It was my birthday yesterday as well. Get in there. Mepham, rock solid as always. He's pulled out 2 players there.
Yeah, I mean, he could go through the team, and there weren't too many perhaps who come out with any credit really in the first half, but certainly second half, as you said, you'd love to have been in the change room at half time, what was said from the coaching staff between the players as well. To get them going in the second half, really. Or sometimes, you don't even need that. You know yourselves as players. Listen, boys, we've been way off it there. Yeah. We've got more gears where we've been at earlier in the season. Let's get on it and let's get going second half, and that was the case, really. So, yeah, Dan, as we said there, strike apart. He stepped up second half, time and time again, regaining possession, trying to drive us forward. Chris Rigg, I thought, full of energy as well. Obviously, Job, much improved. First half got caught under his feet a couple of times, but second half back to what we know Job's all about, really, wasn't he? But yeah, it's hard to single anybody out, but they've all chipped in, they've all contributed, and they'll be getting back on the bus now, relieved and buzzing after that win, I'd imagine. And happy birthday once again to Dan Neal, 23 yesterday.
Yeah.
tops it off with a 25-yarder in the top corner.
Not bad at all. What do we do next? Well, Sunderland go back to the Stadium of Light on Saturday. We're just being joined by some Christmas elves in here. Sunderland are back in action on Saturday, 3 p.m. kick-off against Norwich City. And you can join me and Danny from 2:15 for that one. Enjoy your week. We'll see you soon.